Cassandra?
Yes.
What happened?
In Op 5, there's water coming in.
Is it all over the operatory? Did it get on any patients or anything like that? Break the guys. So we've had 2 major leaks in Streeterville that have cost us like almost $100,000, and we've had issues with our Streeterville practice because we had a pool that's leaked a few times. So I have my people over in Streeterville about to prank the guys, you know, as the April Fool's joke. So they're about to call in a couple minutes. So we're about to watch this whole thing go down. Cassandra?
Yes.
What happened?
In Op 5, there's water coming in.
Where?
I'll call Brian right now from the management group, or I'll call him.
So we're trying to clean it up. Manny was finishing up with her patient. We had to move him. He's okay, he's fine. But the water was coming in. It's not a trickle. Like, it's definitely, I think I heard them pounding this morning. I'm not too sure.
What were they supposed to be doing?
They're cutting in the neighboring space. They're removing the piping in the neighboring space.
Dude, this has happened twice now.
So we're not going to have them do any removing of the piping here. I don't give a what's going on.
Is it all over the operatory? Did it get on any patients or anything like that?
It did on Manny's last patient. He was okay. We did transfer him to a different op, cleaning up, paper towels.
There's still water coming through right now?
It hasn't stopped. Yeah, it's just continued.
And where's it coming from? Like the ceiling right across?
Yes, like the ceiling across, also coming down the walls, like any kind of seam or crack.
Can you guys put a bucket and garbage cans there, please? There might be a large industrial-sized garbage can in the maintenance hallway. And just try and put that there. Let me call the landlord. And,
wait. Before you call landlord, April Fools.
The f out of here. Are you there? What do you want for your last day? I'm joking.
Oh, Master Breaker, once again. What? Dude, I've been waiting for this moment. This is perfect. I held you guys all in the dark. I've been planning it all morning.
This is the most work he's done at this office ever. Ever.
How many times have you been Breaker?
Every time. Every time.
One time we told him we broke this $30,000 machine. He was on vacation for a week. So I photoshopped this machine, this huge crack in it. I threw one of the assistants under the bus, and she dropped it, and you should have saw the text message group. It was like a lot of F-bombs, and so right when he landed into the country, we sent him like a barrage of text messages.
As soon as I turned my phone on from the plane, I had like messages about this happened, and the picture. I lost my shit. I hate him.
Cassandra's an actress too, so that was like perfect. She was like, she put it all out there, you know, that was hilarious.
Okay, so since our last LOI, we submitted the letter of intent to the landlord. Since then, we've been kind of in negotiations with our attorney to kind of finalize and fine-tune the lease. Our designer we're kind of working on the layouts and making sure that we can fit as much functional space into the floor plan as possible. Find ways to make that design unique and different. Is there, for the amount of square footage and cubic footage, is there enough power for the HVAC, for air conditioning, heating? Would it work for a regular retail, and what's not going to work for a dental office? But that's kind of where we are in terms of the development there.
I mean, just to get an idea of what we were looking for in the space. So the problem that we're running into is that it's a tiny footprint. We're usually aiming to be in the 25 to 2,800 square feet range for a startup practice. With this one being a little smaller, the challenge is how do you fit in everything you want in such a tight square footage? I mean, the things that we said that are absolutely necessary is a beautiful reception area and having 7 operatories. 7 operatories is important because it allows us to create a certain level of production in these practices that make them profitable. We want to be between 6 and 8, but 7 and above is ideal. Sacrifice whatever to make sure that we have 7 operatories in this plan.
It's much easier to manage an office when it's less than 8 chairs. South Loop right now has 14 chairs total. So getting it down to this is much more manageable. It's easier to get around. It's more intimate. So it's more of a close-knit feel with everybody who's there.
The beauty of having more than 6 chairs is that it's not just from a production standpoint, but it allows you to have predictability in terms of, when procedures run behind, and you have an extra floating chair, so that way, if there's someone has a free set of hands, we can see the patient, get them prepped in the areas that don't really require the doctor's attention, and that way they're not waiting in the waiting room and kind of maximizes the overall experience.
So saying that, with the floor plans that we have here, we can kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at. So we have like a version 1 here, and we have a version 2 over here. And these were done within a span of a week each. Details we gave them essentially were 6 to 8 chairs, preferably 7. If you have to do 6, we had to make it up in other ways, making sure the doctor office and staff lounge is in the back, stuff like that. So we kind of give them a parameter you work with. The biggest thing that we're gonna be going back and forth with, because they also are like a creative house or design studio, is what we're doing up here in the reception area. Because when you come in to an office, and especially something like Dentologie where it's a brand, you want to know you came into Dentologie. It has to still uniquely feel Dentologie with a slightly different flair for that particular area.
The nice thing about the designers is that they kind of give us an idea board for us to kind of see what vision we see, and they kind of give us the options that are out there for that.
So they give us a vision, and then Hanny decides to add marble, starts to add
Glass.
freaking gold, platinum, diamonds, and we're about triple the cost after that.
God's plan. I hold back sometimes I won't. I feel good when I'm alone. Leave me in the studio. Daily self-discovery.
So last meeting we talked about, we basically started with HR stuff. Since then we hired Sonia, so that helps with Sandra. That kind of covers that. And I think the nice thing about this too is like the fact that this is going so well. This is a great way to where we can start seeking out people that don't have the experience, but they have the personality that we want. They have, like that drive that we're looking for with everything. And so then, we kind of need to map out how we're doing this with Lizette, and then we can go forward with that.
Would you say that our biggest challenges that we face day to day are just from the growth standpoint, just how do we maintain the hiring? How do we continue to have a good supply of, assistants and treatment coordinators and insurance?
I think the bigger we go, we're gonna have to try a different approach. So I think we have to not shy away from like dental assisting schools. And I think we just build up our training protocols so that way we have a lot of steps for them or goals for them to achieve, and then they build up their clinical acumen doing that.
It's much easier to get somebody early on and train them like how we want them to do things.
Can't train personality, right? So I would say like the one thing that we always look for when we're hiring is, do they fit the personality traits that we're looking for someone that can grow and maintain the culture of the practice.
So I would much rather pay people who will work hard and really kind of grasp what we're doing here overtime than to hire someone just because I desperately need them, even if they don't kind of meet what we're looking for. And that's kind of become what we're doing now. We've kind of learned that the hard way.
I think the other challenge is when we were smaller, acute issue was very large, right? It's like, oh my God, this assistant didn't show up. Holy moly, we're in trouble, right? You're suctioning, and it's like the worst.
I've had times where assistants call in, and I'm by myself for like hours. Yeah. So we've all been through. We've all been through those days.
I refuse to do dentistry without an assistant. It doesn't exist.
You refuse to dentistry, period.
I refuse to do dentistry for the most part. I'm that early retirement fan.
What about a hit of your love?
We're very busy. Our hair is very important to us. So we actually have the best stylist in Chicago, Becca, who's right over there. She comes to our practice and cuts all of our hair at the same time, which is awesome. So it makes our life way easier. They go overload with their haircuts. Every single time we haircut, Sama comes in and he goes, Becca, I want to do something absolutely nuts. Every single time.
Could I pull that off?
Yeah, of course you could pull that off. It's gonna be quite different, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll try.
All right.
What about a hit of your love?